Hello lovely people, welcome back to another book chat. And as some of you may know, today is a special book chat because it's launch day for A Manor of Life and Death, Beaufort Scales' third dragonish cozy mystery. And I'm so excited to be putting this one out here. I had so much fun writing it. It was kind of it's a little bit of a take on sort of classic country house murder mystery, obviously with dragons and invisible dogs and things in the walls. So I hope so much you enjoy it, and I'm going to read you a little excerpt in a moment. I had this great theory where I was going to at some stage get around to doing an unboxing video, so when the proof arrived I could show myself opening the packet and being all excited, but I tend to be too excited to remember to actually video that. So no, you're probably not going to get an unboxing video, and certainly not for this one. Maybe for book 4, which will come out later in the year. I'm working on it. Okay, so should we have a little read? So chapters 1 and 2 are up on the website already. So the last 2 Wednesdays I've put up the first 2 chapters of the book. So that'll give you a little bit of an idea as to whether you want to buy it or not. Paperbacks are available both through Amazon and through Book Depository. You can take the ISBN and see if your friendly indie bookshop can order it in for you. And yes, obviously the ebooks, if you've pre-ordered, should already be with you, so you should have some weekend reading sorted. Okay, so if you've already read chapter 1 and 2, I'm going to read you the start of chapter 3. So, chapter 3, Mortimer. Mortimer was slightly astonished that Beaufort had been happy to leave the WI to themselves for the evening. The High Lord was far too intrigued by the concept of a spa weekend for Mortimer's comfort. But why do you have to go away from home to be relaxed? He kept asking. Surely home is the most perfect place for relaxing and being comfortable. Which the ladies had agreed with, but they did point out that cabins required rather less window cleaning and vacuuming than did houses, and getting someone to pop over to the house to give you a massage or a private yoga lesson just wasn't the same as going somewhere you could get all the pampering you wanted in a weekend. Beaufort had been enormously impressed by the ideas of massages and yoga, and absolutely insistent that Mortimer try both. Your stress levels are terribly high, he told the young dragon. I've been reading about how bad that is for you. We need to do as much of this yoga as possible. It's going to be wonderfully good for you. Mortimer supposed he should just be happy that the old dragon hadn't tried to book him in for some sort of dragonish massage and mud bath treatment. He sighed rather heavily. Are you all right there, Mortimer? The dryad asked him, sitting down next to him cross-legged and patting his shoulder. You just about scorched the moss. No, Mortimer said, looking around the little clearing on the edge of the stream. His breath painted magical creatures on the night. He did yoga, you know. We both did yoga on the back terrace in full view of the house. Oh, you're safe with Yoga Girl, the gnome said, picking raw fish from his pointy teeth with a twig. She's all airy-fairy floaty person. She comes wandering through the trees, collecting herbs, talking about communing with nature, but she never sees anything. You're mean to her, the dryad said. You run around that terrace hiding all her blocks and belts and things, or putting them where people will fall over them, and she never knows where they go. Oh, lighten up, Mabel, a Tidian said. He was leaning back in a puddle on the edge of the stream, a thimble of beer resting on his belly. Like you don't go about hiding the garden shears and breaking the electric clippers. Well, that boy does awful things to trees, the dryad snapped, her weathered hands balled into fists. Have you seen the topiary by the kitchen? One of them's shaped like a middle finger and the other, well, it's anatomical, put it that way. The gnome chuckled. Yeah, he doesn't much like that big chef type. Or he likes them too much. I can never work it out with humans. There could be worse, the Tidian said. They leave my ponds alone, and that's all good. Don't rip up any of the old trees or anything. No infinity pools or hot tubs or any of that rubbish. Just a couple of nice ponds and a fountain, and I can keep on top of those easily. You hear about some of these places. You remember Earl and Cathy near Grasmere? 2 hot tubs and an outdoor pool. They worked themselves ragged, they did, and Earl had a breakdown. He sabotaged the whole lot, ripped all the pumps apart, and they ran away to some tarn up in the fells. You can't expect a couple of Tidians to take care of all that. It won't have been on purpose, Pat, the dryad said. They don't know we exist, so it's not like they were deliberately making work for anyone. Pat huffed. So what do they think? Ponds just stay clean all on their own? Mortimer decided he was best staying out of the conversation. The magical folk of the world had remained hidden for centuries while the humans bred and spread and shaped the world in their own image. The folk had become nothing more than legend, stories to tell children, shadows in the dark. But, rather recently, the dragons of the Cloverley clan had begun to edge out of hiding, and he knew a lot of it was due to the trade he'd set up with Miriam and dragon-scale baubles and barbecues. Although he had in no way imagined that it was going to lead to spa weekends and dragon yoga, and if he had, he might never have created that first magic-filled bauble to present to his human friend. He'd rather reckoned without the High Lord's enormous enthusiasm, and felt he spent far too much time trying to keep that in check when he could have been designing more baubles. And however it worked for the dragons, if worked was even the right word, as he felt sometimes that things were in a constant state of almost not working. He didn't feel at all qualified to pass advice or recommendations. Every kind had to figure out their own way to navigate this world. Cats, for instance, just never bothered changing. They still assumed the world was theirs to rule, just as it always had been. Considering the fact there were 2 cats in the human government, and that was common knowledge even among humans, they were probably right. Other folk had to be rather more circumspect, as humans had a nasty habit of killing things they didn't understand, no matter how similar it was to them. Dryads with moss-encrusted skin, and Tidians with webbed feet and proboscis-type noses, and gnomes with stone teeth and frog-skin jackets would probably be a bit much for most of them. Then again, he'd originally thought dragons would be too much for humans, even dragons as small as the Cloverleys. But when Miriam had caught him stealing both her barbecue gas bottle and a scone, she'd just offered him cream and pointed out that the bottle had been empty for 3 years, but she could get it filled for him if you like. So you just never knew with humans. So that is the start of chapter 3 of third Beaufort Scales Mystery, A Manor of Life and Death. So head on over to the previous 2 Wednesday vlogs, which I'll put the link for below as well, or above, one of the 2, if you want to read the first 2 chapters. And then it is at the moment 99p, but it will be going up tomorrow. So grab it while you can. Or not tomorrow. Okay, I'll be generous. It'll go up on Monday. So you've got the weekend to grab it for 99p. Otherwise, the paperback's available. And I hope so much you enjoy it. And yeah, it's been great fun writing them, and I want to say thank you again to my fantastic beta readers and to my wonderful editor Linda, and to all of you lovely people who watch my silly videos and read my blog posts and have the most fantastic chats with me on the various social media that I haunt. And thank you very much for believing in dragons and tea and friendship, which are obviously very important, and cake. Mustn't forget the cake. And now I am off to find a cake to celebrate Beaufort's launch day. Cake fit for dragons. There we go. Thanks very much. Bye.